policy of the CBN to stop the sales of dollars to bureau de change operators in Nigeria. Have Nigerians wondered how officials of the government who move our money that they have looted outside the country get dollars? A government official who loots hundreds of millions of naira can easily and without hindrance convert such to dollars, making it smaller package and ensuring movement of the money easier. No country in the world operates a foreign exchange policy that is undocumented. Abroad, all forex transactions are recorded. You are required to submit your passport or other official identification. The system must know. The transaction must be documented and regulated. For the economic growth of Nigeria and her businesses, the central bank needs our support to explain this policy to the ordinary citizen, who are the ultimate beneficiaries. Genuine businesses need dollar to do business, but have been unable to access same because somebody somewhere has hoarded it, and speculators somebody somewhere has hoarded it. To access the same. Access same because somebody somewhere has hoarded it, and speculators are having access to forex more than businesses. With this policy, speculators, illegitimate businesses, and other such people who should not ordinarily have access to forex will no longer have them. This policy of the CBN can, in other words, be referred to as a policy to take dollars from illegal hands and put it in the legal hands. So terrorists, criminals, kidnappers, speculators, and indeed looters are going to be denied access to forex. This policy that is long overdue. This policy is a policy that is long overdue, and the CBN needs the support of everyone. It is our patriotic duty to make sure that this policy works effectively. Thank you.
We must also interrogate the mechanism for sanctions as provided by the CBN against the defaulters. We urge that the CBN provides very punitive sanctions against banks that sells dollars to illegitimate or unauthorized business
or persons or hard
cause artificial scarcity. We also call on the
executive arm of government to enforce some sanctions and bring the political will of states to bear against embassies
and international organizations that rely on illegal BDC, that is, the Bureau de Change, for their forex transactions. Where the CBN enforces these sanctions effectively, we believe that implementation will be a lot better and the desired impact will be felt. The commercial banks must be supervised. That is what we are saying. Further, this policy
in forex. I repeat, this policy did not shut down the BDC, neither did it stop them from trading in forex.
It stopped them from further getting forex from the central bank because they have over the years used
and misused the gesture. Nigeria cannot be working for the benefit of only a few greedy people against the interest of the nation itself and the majority of the citizens. Nigerians who need dollars genuinely should please go to their banks, do the relevant documentation, and get forex. We cannot continue living in our old ways as the only country in the world where the central bank directly sells forex to Bureau de Change operators. Thank you. God bless you all and God bless you.
Quite surprisingly, to say the least, the security agencies, which ordinarily should have been the ones bringing these suggestions or suggesting these ideas to the CBN, could not and did not. It is in line with this that I say Nigerian youths should applaud the governor of the central bank for this initiative, the courage and the commitment to introduce and implement the policy of banning further sales of dollars and other several foreign exchange to the BDCs. It might interest you to note that in Nigeria alone, there are over 5,000 BDCs operating as we speak. Now, let us play a mathematical compositions here. Imagine that the central bank were to sell at least $20,000 to each of these BDCs on a weekly basis. This means, from your calculations and from my calculations, that the sale of dollars alone will amount to the sum of $6 billion annually to these BDCs. And in a situation where the use of these monies are not being checked, what then become of the effect? And these people definitely will boldly come out to say that and support a system where $6 billion is in circulation within the Nigerian space and the Nigerian economy without being properly checked, properly documented, and properly regulated. This amount is one too huge to be in the hands of unknown men. And that is why we are proud to say that we are very, very much elated with the decisions of the CBN in banning foreign exchange through the back doors of the BDCs. We therefore want to urge all Nigerians, the youths, civil societies, and indeed members of the press to join in this support and guarantee the lives of citizens, even the rights to education, which has now been denied many children in the states of this country. Because if at the end of the day this policy succeeds, criminal enterprises will be nipped in the bud. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.
It must be stated at this point that the gradual dollarization of Nigerian economy, with attendant adverse consequences on the conduct of monetary policy and subversion of the cashless policy initiatives of the CBN, will be tackled by this new decision of the CBN. BDCs had resorted into financing of unauthorized transactions with forex procured from the CBN. For many years, these activities of some of the BDCs have continued to undermine genuine efforts at stabilizing the currency, which informed CBN's commencement of weekly sale of forex to the BDC operators. It is a known fact that the Apex Bank had been supplying each licensed BDCs upwards of $10,000 twice per week at the rate of 393 naira, with a mandate to sell with a margin of just 2 naira. But they rather sell at over 504 naira, negating the very essence for the weekly allocation and showing why obtaining new BCD licenses became a lucrative business. People allegedly sold their licenses for as much as 80 to 100 million naira. Instead of easing access to forex and enhancing the exchange rate of the naira, the Bureau de Change operators have engaged in round-tripping and hoarding of forex, thereby creating artificial scarcity to sell at higher than approved rates, thus serving as conduit pipes for money laundering and indulging in many other illicit transactions not envisaged by the CBN. Admitted that constructive criticisms are necessary for the shaping and reshaping of policies, the unusual increase in the number of interest in securing BTC licenses, as earlier stated, should also be of interest to those opposing the recent ban of sales of forex to BDCs. Aside from the players and their sponsors who have been benefiting from the anomaly, we state clearly that a lot of voices opposed to this policy are being sponsored by those who believe bread has been taken away from their greedy mouths. As the critics of these policies made any attempt to look at the other side, the answer is no. This is because of the positive side. This is because, on the positive side, this policy is consistent with a move by the CBN to unify exchange rates and bring more transparency to the forex market. Exchange rate unification is in line with the IMF and World Bank's recommendations, and so improves the country's profile and credit standing before international financial institutions. It signifies that the country is serious in its reform efforts. So why should we not support the right thing? The move is likely to check the round-tripping of the forex and reduce the supply of forex in the parallel market. Further, speculative demand for forex is also likely to reduce. With the knowledge that BDCs have been accused of being vehicles for bribery and corruption, this will likely reduce. It goes without saying that a more transparent forex market will improve confidence in the economy and will lead to increased foreign investments. It is at this point that we must say to Nigerians again, the ban does not stop operations of the BDCs. It only means operators will have to source forex from other suppliers, but not the central bank. The CBN will be selling directly henceforth to commercial banks, from where customers who have legitimate and applicable transactions will be able to buy. People who have illegal or illegitimate need for forex cannot have access to such from the banks. Let me ask this. Have Nigerians wondered how bandits in the northeast or the Boko Haram terrorist group in the northeast, let me take it again please. Have Nigerians wondered how the bandits in the northwest or the Boko Haram terrorist group in the northeast purchase their weapons in the international market? Have they wondered what these merchants of death do with the huge ransoms they collect from families of victims? They convert these huge sums of dollars in undocumented transactions and then use them to purchase weapons, such as the anti-aircraft guns, which they used to down a Nigerian Air Force jet just last month here. This policy will definitely throw these terrorists out of business because BDCs will not have the volume of dollars they require, thereby ultimately improving our national security. The Coalition of Ethnic Youth Leaders, in collaboration with the African Center for Justice and Human Rights and other partner civil society organizations, will continue this advocacy to explain to Nigerians the immense benefits of this policy and shut enemies of state out from the media space before they swing the narrative in their favor with false information, fake data, unsubstantiated conclusions, and unrelated analogies. We call on the media to join us in this campaign. We call on Nigerians, we call on the youth, we call on Nigerian students to join us, also to join us all, so that we can drown the voice of the motley crowd that do not wish Nigerians well. Once more, I thank you very much for coming. I also want to say a big thank you to the media.